Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live reaction here on Matt and John Make a Podcast. I know the title says AEW Dynamite and Payback Preview, but
Holy shit.
we have to talk about what we just saw on SmackDown, specifically the ending 5 minutes or so with Adam Pearce trying to get Roman Reigns to sign the contract. And he's backstage and he says he's not signing this unless they get the changes he wants in the contract. And then he's going to go on the Payback and win the Universal Championship. And he says, as he turns off to somebody off the camera, it's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And then pan over and it's Paul Heyman. And he goes, wow. Believe that. And the internet lost its collective mind.
If there was any doubt whether Roman Reigns is a heel, that's all laid to rest now because the only thing I heard all week was, oh, he's clearly is not a heel. I'm like, guys, like, have you ever seen Roman that arrogant, that like pompous before? It's just, I mean, they were even piping in poos for Reigns. Like, that's not something, even for all the years that the crowd was booing him and stuff. They never did that.
No.
So, like, it's pretty obvious where this was going. So, and I gotta say, man, this is the most I've been interested in Reigns probably since his Shield days, for sure, because now they did something that they never did with John Cena, and now I think they will be eventually about time to get Roman over eventually as a babyface. And this is what we have been saying for years was, turn him heel, have a short heel run, and he will get over as a babyface. And I guarantee you that will happen if they actually poke this right, which is asking a lot from this company. But I mean, like, I have some.
It's a good first step.
Very good first step, because now the question is, because obviously with Heyman's association with Brock, this throws a very interesting wrinkle into things. And man, like, I'm kind of shocked. I mean, just because we've seen like teases here and there, but they actually never went all the way with the heel thing. But now, right. Man, like, it's freaking crazy right now.
It was the whole show. I said this, they never gave me a reason to believe that he was a face up until that end, because when somebody comes up to your door like a baby face, usually they answer, right? Usually you see he'll, like, if they have a manager, say, hey, come out and talk for somebody, never really opened the door. Roman was presented as he had like the whole like Orlando Magic locker room to himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was an indication. Like, you never see anybody have like that big of a locker room like entrance to themselves, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I just figured that how they were going to close the show, I was interested, because like, okay, he's actually reading the contract, which nobody does.
No.
I was like, I don't think he's gonna sign it. I thought that even before they cut back to it.
Right.
I was like, how something's got to happen to be interesting, because Roman's back, and boy, Did they deliver on that? Now you want to see what's happening on Sunday.
Yeah,
They make you want to see that match just for that, for Heyman and Roman, if nothing else.
I don't know how you don't put the title on him now. Like,
I don't.
I like,
And
because
we could probably go into the
yeah,
segue into the payback predictions now.
yeah. I just, with everything considered now, I mean, like, it just, I mean, like, he's now is by far the most interesting man in the whole company right now. I mean, I don't know how you don't oh, Matt, I don't mean to interrupt, but apparently Malcolm Chadwick Postman died.
Who?
The guy
Holy crap.
yeah, apparently he died. Holy shit.
What?
Huh. Yeah, apparently he died in like a he had colon cancer. What the hell? Wow. Oh man. Wow.
Holy crap.
Holy crap. This, oh man.
2020 can suck an egg.
Jesus. I'm saying.
Holy God. I didn't know he was. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Holy hell. Like, yeah, apparently he had been battling this for 4 years too.
Wow.
Oh wow, holy shit.
And to be and not to make light of anything, but I didn't even know he was 43. He looks
Oh yeah.
he doesn't look like 43. Jesus Christ.
Well, and two, man, he was that means he had to have been battling cancer while he was filming Black Panther and all that
Yeah.
shit there. Holy hell. What the God damn it. I hate 2020 so badly. But man,
I was so like intrigued about what you were going to say, because you were saying that like I was just about to refresh Twitter and see what people were saying about.
Literally popped up just
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, god damn it. But not to kind of segue back into our discussion, but obviously thoughts and prayers with him and like his family now. Like that's just, man, that sucks. 2020, man, it's been rough, but
Already trending number 3 on Twitter already.
Yeah, wow. He man, 4 years, like,
so that's gonna well, I don't want to talk about that yet. Never mind. I wanted to say something. I was like, nope. Who's this? Yeah, his Twitter account just 2 minutes ago tweeted out and confirmed and had a statement. He had stage 3 colon cancer in 2016. Battled with it for the last 4 years as it progressed to stage 4. He apparently died in his home with his wife and family by his side. So, yeah, that's wow. Well, I don't know how to freaking segue back from that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll try to, but just kind of to get back into the actual wrestling talk. But man, just an absolute devastating, devastating lost her, man. But getting back onto Roman Reigns here, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to continue that
Yeah. I don't know.
discussion there? Yeah.
I don't know what the hell we were saying before that. Cry. What was I saying?
As
Um,
as like a heel, obviously, for like payback.
oh yeah.
Mhm, mhm,
Yeah. I, like you said that he's got to win now.
mhm,
Um, I would assume, excuse me, that he'll pin. I would, if anybody's going to take a fall or whatever, it would be Strowman.
mhm. No,
Bray doesn't do it. Um,
no.
which Strowman, it's fine. Um, compare relative to Wyatt, obviously.
Mhm,
I'm okay. So before, I'm thinking to myself, before the end of SmackDown, I'm like, I don't want Roman to win. Now I want him to win. It, it, I
It just
it's going to be so good now.
mhm. Yeah, and there's a way more potential, especially with him holding that title. It's just going to mean just so much more. And man, like just the potential fuse that you can do with guys like Daniel Bryan versus a heel Roman Reigns. Take my money. Him versus Riddle. Holy shit.
There's a lot
Give
of people. Yeah.
there's there's like so I mean hell, even him versus a babyface fiend. I would love to see that is a very there's so many fresh feuds for
Even
him
e-
as a heel, you
even
know.
if in
Mhm,
matches that we already saw, it's different
mhm,
with this dynamic that
mhm,
it works. It's refreshing because it's different.
mhm.
So we'll see what it is, and with Heyman talking for him, um, possibilities are endless. Um, and you could I already even before they showed Heyman, just the way Roman was talking,
Mhm.
his cadence of talking was
Yeah.
so different. Um,
He like, you know,
you use like tells like he's a heel, and then obviously Heyman seals the deal.
mhm.
So it was a good way to go off of SmackDown on the go. the 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 post SummerSlam go home show for Payback
Mhm.
episode. That was a hell of a way to go home to that pay per view.
And to me, this is the only match I'm like remotely interested in right now. Anything else is just kind of there.
It's like the undercard to a big UFC pay per view with the
Right.
only big draw is the main event.
And
Everything out, everything else.
and
Oh, that could be a good match. Oh, that was a good fight. But we're here to see the
honestly, it's like it's like Cowboy versus Connor, where the only reason you care about this
yes.
card is
Oh,
it's
how
just
about
for Connor,
yeah?
you
How
know.
about was it Floyd and
And Connor,
no, was it Floyd in
and
oh my
like
god,
Pacquiao,
yes, that
and
whole
Pacquiao.
thing. I knew nobody cared nothing about that undercard. Everybody
No.
just bought that just for that fight,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, that fight was. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we're all in pretty much agreement that Roman is going over now. I don't see
Has to.
it has
I
to.
I has to like
I not if he doesn't, well, damn.
if he doesn't, then I mean, clearly Strowman is eating his pin.
Yes.
I mean, because to me, you cannot have the fiend lose it, and clearly Roman isn't getting pinned here. So it's just like Care Bear, he going down. So
Guerrero's going down. Yes.
yeah, but
Um.
but as far as the rest of the card, it's just like, man, like we have a tag team rematch between Seth and Buddy Murphy versus Ray
That.
and
Yeah.
Dominic.
That didn't end clean on Raw because of retribution. I
Keith Lee and Orton too. That's
Yeah.
on there. Yeah.
Paul Cruz versus Bobby Lashley, the U.S. Championship, and Women's Tag Team Championship, Bayley and Sasha versus Shannon Baszler and Nia Jax. So starting with that, Bayley and Sasha versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, I am pretty confident in my mind that we're getting new tag team champions. We're going to continue the breakup. It was the subtle best thing about this between these two, and by these two I mean Bayley and Sasha, is just the subtle little jabs that each are giving. Tonight, I think I missed it backstage, but I saw it when they were walking away from Big E and Heavy Machinery. Bayley said something along the lines of they could something can't handle tag team. I don't know who she was. Can't handle the tag team championship, or only can handle the tag team championships. Clearly a jab at Sasha, but in a passive aggressive way. In the promo against Shayna and Nia, I think Sasha said, like my tag team championship and not ours. So just in this, the looks they're giving each other, and I laughed when Bayley brought up Sasha's abysmal track record in defending her championship. I laughed at that. I was like, oh, they went there.
Yeah.
But
which by the way, she has the worst track record out of any current person on that roster, because I swear
anybody ever.
Yeah, like I've never seen someone who has had every major title reign. She's not been able to defend her title at any one of
the only one, and it's obviously an asterisk, is the tag team championship, because she's got Bayley. Or
if we're talking about NXT, where she defended that title many times and she won, but I mean that's
the main roster.
NXT, yeah. So it's just like, man, like it's freaking nuts. Yeah.
So I fully expect Shayna and Nia to become champions, and see where that goes.
Which, by the way, is the most random tag team pairing I've ever seen. But you know,
yeah,
it's clearly forwarding with the storyline between Bayley and Sasha, and I would expect probably for which I believe the next pay-per-view is like Night of Champions. Gotta think that's probably where we get the first title match between these two. So
one would think.
Yeah.
Then we get well, I'm going to say that for last because that could segue into something. Paula Cruz versus Lashley.
Yeah, I just don't care. I mean, I'll pick Lashley, but just WWE has given me no reason to give a single crap about this feud. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
I'll go with Lashley. I'm thinking Lashley. Dominic and Mysterio, or Dominic and Rey Mysterio versus Rollins and Murphy.
I think like Rey and Dominic get a like win here, especially with Seth winning At SummerSlam, kind of think they'll probably give them a win here.
Yep.
I'm guessing it's at some point probably are going to be getting another match between Seth and like Ray. I'm not exactly sure where that's going to go, but I would assume at some point that's going to happen because obviously he's going to be getting some sort of a revenge for the whole eye thing. So
I don't know, but I'll go with the obvious faces here. It is Payback after all. And then lastly, at least this is all the matches I see here. We got Randy Orton versus Keith Lee.
Yeah, I don't see a scenario where Orton doesn't win here. It's just a matter of fact of how clean that it is. But yeah, I just hate that they freaking did this match because, and this is going to lead me into my freaking rant about Keith Lee.
That's why I did this last.
Like, if Keith Lee isn't going to win here, I don't understand booking this feud here. So we go from him having one of the most unique and cool theme songs to him now having generic music to now him wearing a shirt because apparently Vince thinks that he's too fat. It's just part of the course.
That's exactly. Well, look at
pretty much any sort of
look at Kevin Owens with the shirt.
Yeah, but in this case, but in this case, so when you look at Keith Lee, do you really say, man, he looks hideous, he's fat, he should definitely wear a shirt? Like it's just like I swear, like Vince wants every single guy to have a like six pack and just look completely exactly the same. Like I don't understand why it's so bad that he's a little bit of a freaking of a gut on him. He's a freaking huge guy. It's just like, help me understand this, Matt, because I'm trying to figure out what the whole logic is because man, he looks just so ridiculous in that whole outfit now, and the whole internet was so pissed off and so enraged that Keith Lee had to send out a tweet. I think it was on Wednesday or something, basically saying to them, hey guys, it's completely out of my hands here. So yeah, like, you know, you can complain, but I mean, it's like not much choice. And apparently too, with the whole theme thing, it has something to do with CFO and their production company with WWE, and that's why that they changed it, which
I believe there's a report here from Wrestling Inc. that he's getting a new reportedly getting a new theme song for Sunday.
Oh, I mean,
with lyrics.
Okay, well, it can't be any worse, right? So, right?
Yeah, yeah, because they're going through a new company called Def Rebel, and somebody from them revealed on his Instagram story that he was working on Lee's new theme song. Yeah, so this is a new production company that WWE has been working with after CFLO $. Which, I hate that name. Parted ways with the company last year. Yeah. Anything else here? Their first theme song they used in WWE, or was used in WWE, was Still Major used for Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder last year. They did 40 songs with WWE since then, including Seth's new song, Bray Wyatt's new song, Tyson Fury, Brock Lesnar. I don't get that. That's you've said the same one. Cain Velasquez and others. They did the Bray one, and that's actually not bad. Seth is okay. I don't mind Seth, but we'll see if they can give. I don't think they could do legal reasons. I wish they could somehow remix, because I did that for Bray. They used the lyrics from his old song that somebody else made,
and his was really, really good. And it was really unique too. So hopefully, it's going to still look really unique.
As long as it's good, I don't care.
It just can't be any worse than what, because that whole thing was just so bad. When I first listened to it, I'm like, what the hell is this?
It was because it was weird, because you had the original intro, and then it kind of faded out and something else played. I'm just like, what?
I was like, so what? we went from a cool hip hop thing that chicken bump to a like hardcore to a hardcore metal thing. And I'm just like,
hardcore metal thing is putting it nicely.
Yeah. So, but and it just goes back to the whole entire issue with NXT call-ups, like, and this is why it's so hard for so many people to stay in tune with NXT, because consistently, whenever guys get really big on that brand and they go to either Raw or SmackDown, this is what we see. Now, I'm not saying that he's completely dead. No, I'm not saying that, but it's clearly it's just not the same guy. And I for the life of me will never understand why someone who is over here can't be the same person over here when he's already established. He's over. Like, it works. Don't fix something that isn't freaking broken. It's just, maybe I'm thinking way too logically here, but that's been kind of my whole thing in regards with put that there. I'm not sure how you feel about that, Matt, but that's
it's you said everything that needed to be said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's get into AEW, because Mother Nature said screw you yesterday and knocked my power out for 4-ish hours. An hour or so before AEW, and it was probably before 7 o'clock local time, and didn't come on until like 11:15. So that was fun. But at least it was weird. Like, I walked outside like I don't even know. It's like a small section of around me, a couple blocks over, and like up the street from me had power. At the top of the street, it was weird. But we didn't, and usually we never lose power, or at least my house. Everybody else does except us. Now it was like reversed. So
I don't know. Like I had power throughout into it didn't even flicker or anything. So
yeah, well, you got underground lines, right?
See what
you have underground lines, right?
Yeah.
Well, we don't.
Well, that explains everything.
But I don't know where the problem was. Anyways, so we had AEW this week on, and we open up with the tag team gauntlet match. We start out with the Young Bucks versus the natural nightmares of Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall.
Yeah, I'm pretty solid here. And actually, the whole entire gauntlet itself, I thought was pretty damn good, and um, and I'm kind of predictable until obviously when the Bucks were face best friends. But man, I mean, like, Matt, I continue to say this a lot, but you would find it really hard pressed to believe with like Dustin Rhodes that he's like 1 of 52. Like he just
Oh.
looks like completely and just healthy and better than ever before. But obviously um obviously Bucks win here as they should, and then we lead into
Best friends.
best friends, which this is where it got interesting because I was thinking to myself, okay, pretty clear. I'm pretty sure they aren't going to be giving away FTR and the Bucks on like free TV. So obviously something's happening here. Lo and behold, Matt, turns out Hangman screws over with the Bucks, and best friends beat beat the Bucks via roll up. How shocked were you about this, and what do you think
It was interesting.
this?
To go back, I thought the first match of this was the best of the whole thing. I was on Young Bucks versus best friends. I don't know the style of this match compared to the first one, and some of the stuff they did, I was like, Plus, it's the best friends. I'm on them already.
Yeah.
I was intrigued with the Adam Page stuff. I thought that was it's interesting. The right way to go. So we get the best friends versus FTR, which basically destroyed them, which made sense. I'm glad that didn't go too long, and we get FTR winning to face Hangman and Kenny it all out, which I'm interested to see how that dynamic, especially with everybody plays out in that match.
And over the past day, I've been seeing a lot of possible theories on this whole thing because as like Matt, there's been this whole talk of like Hangman turning, Kenny turning, but someone also suggested, what if both Hangman and Kenny were co-opting this whole thing to screw over a Bucks as well? I was like, you know what? I could see that because if you have been paying attention with Kenny, he's been slowly losing his mind more and more. He's been trying to be like buddy with Hangman. So like and as you saw with like Hangman, Matt, he was like really portraying, of him being really unsure of what he was exactly doing. So there is a lot of interesting pathways that they could take here, and man, I mean, like it's a very interesting, it possibly very interesting dynamic here,
Yep.
Especially with FTR because I still say that I don't think that you should turn Hangman heel. I just don't think that it's going to actually work because obviously with the crowd, they're completely behind him. Which, by the way, before I even go any further, what did you think of the whole setup with the fans there?
It was nice to see. Not everybody was socially distant, which I found strange.
Apparently, they also kicked out a few people who weren't wearing masks.
Good.
Because because they were pretty strict about that. Because I saw a few people tweeted out that like how they basically if you weren't following protocol, they would either have a like usher say something, and if you didn't comply, you were gone. So but yeah, I mean, like it was just so nice to hear when Chris Jericho came out and everyone's singing with like with like Judas there. I really missed that, but yeah, that's getting a little bit off topic there, but getting back into what the match. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where this thing goes at all out, because as we saw, Matt, as we go into it, FTR versus Best Friends, obviously FTR they win pretty easily, um, and now they have Tully as their manager now, but yeah, I'm very interested to see how this is going to to be booked. I don't know how they don't put the tag titles onto FTR. Just because with the whole entire storyline, it feels like that the only logical that the only logical outcome is to have those tag titles off of Kenny and Hangman to progress with the storyline of Kenny losing his freaking mind, and B, everything going on with like Hangman and his association with FTR and a box and such there.
Yep. I think um, Omega is taking the pin on this in that match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree, or I could even see where Hangman kind of helps FTR to win um in a like roundabout way. I could see that, but yeah, I mean, like, because I feel if Kenny does get pinned, that's when he's going to just absolutely just lose his mind, and we're going to see Psycho Kenny Omega, which cannot come soon e- enough, and we're going to be getting a much more serious and a much more ambitious Kenny Omega. I can hardly wait. So
we'll see. After this, we get the announcement of the Casino Battle Royal for an All Out, and Darby Allin and Lance Archer are announced so far for that, and then we get Lance Archer versus Sean Maluta, which basically Lance destroys.
Yeah. I mean, not really. Really, yeah, it was a squash match. But you can tell they are really rebuilding Archer back up now. Which again, I'm not sure why they or I completely understand why they put the title onto Cody. You want a like and established name. I completely get that, but like he's been essentially off of TV for for the good good part of like 3 months.
Feud with who I don't even know. In a throwaway nobody cared about.
Yeah, him and Jake, they have just been in like some like backstage and some backstage segments where he's just beating up a whole bunch of ham and niggers. What did you think about the segment with him and like Team Taz? I thought that was pretty cool there.
Yeah, I thought obviously, you know what, I thought the worst part of this was Jake the Snake. cutting the promo. It
Yeah,
was not good. I'm
it
going to
was.
pluck you, and I'm going to pluck you, and I'm going to pluck you.
Yeah,
It was. He didn't come off good.
and and he was calling Taz and Team Taz the like Flintstones. I was like,
Yeah, there's party rubble. Yeah, whatever. I'm like,
I
oh my
was
god,
like,
what the hell? It's like, what the hell is this? But the rest of it I liked.
mhm.
Um,
I mean, give me Cage versus Archer right now. It just, I want to see that match at some point. Holy shit, that would be insane.
yeah, and then after we get the contract signing between MJF and John Moxley, and
This was by far the best thing about the show,
yes,
in my opinion. Here, yeah.
I still don't know how Moxley's number one in that PWI 500.
Oh no, I mean it's completely kayfabe. Just
Is
like,
it?
yeah, yeah,
I was about to say.
kayfabe. Yeah, yeah, it's kayfabe, which makes a ton of sense since he's. I don't think he's even lost since he signed with AEW, or if he did, it was by some like cheap
To be fair,
shenanigans here.
I didn't even like look at the list to see if that was legit. I just assumed they wouldn't lie about that.
No, no, like it was like he was number one. Adam Cole, he was two. Three, I believe, was Chris Jericho, and I forget the list. After that,
if that was legit, I would be cutting a promo. But anyways, that's besides the point. I loved MGF here. It's a promo that I believe when I listen to him, I believe what he's saying. Unlike a lot of people.
His freaking lawyer there too did an excellent job too in this segment as well. He like came off as the like stuck up snotty guy who I just wanted to like see to just get his ass kicked. And like same with Mox, like
well, guess what? That's gonna happen.
It was like just like how they all built up to this, and like Mox is like, oh, hey, you didn't read page 17. I was like, man, this is the worst lawyer I have ever seen in my entire life.
I was gonna say, how did MJF not see there was an extra page there when he signed it? That was his last page. He said there was 16 or 17.
Yeah.
Damn lawyers. They mess everything up. So next week, it's him versus Moxley.
And if his lawyer doesn't show up, then MJF forfeits his title shot against Moxley at All Out.
I want to know how Moxley got that in there. Legal. I don't know. I want answers to these legal questions, John.
Well, supposedly, and I believe that Shivani said this on commentary, that his lawyer faxed over the whole entire contract to him. So like Moxley, he just added that in there, and MJF being a freaking idiot signed it without exactly reading it, and man, you just saw so much fright in MJF's face when he said, "Oh, you didn't look at page 17." He was like, "Wait, there was only 16 pages here," and you see his freaking lawyer is like, "No." I was thinking of Shooter McGavin there.
What? Yeah. So after that, we got backstage. This is when I think the show we agreed goes
It,
downhill.
it was a roller coaster.
Well, this was a roller coaster. If we started at the top, we went down, up, and then kept going down. We got the backstage thing with Santana and Ortiz talking about best friends, and I don't care. I don't care. It's about a goddamn van.
Yeah.
Where's the? I don't. It. I don't. It is. I don't. I'm sorry.
No, I
It
mean,
just comes off. It's. I don't know. I don't care. It's not good. And then we get Eddie Kingston saying internet's talk about his group being stable, but these guys are his people. They're about championships, and that's what there's going to show them. And then that segues into Lucha Brothers, Airbnb, Blade and the Butcher versus a smorgasbord of people. Griff
and
Garrison,
Hammond Towns. Yeah.
Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, and Brian Pillman Jr. I was upset that these people got more offense in than they did.
That didn't really bother me as much. It's just
I was more mad at Brian Pillman taking the bid.
because to me he was clearly out of all of those people who I feel has the most potential there.
Yeah.
And to man, AEW needs to chill out with these freaking 8-man tags. They are done way too often, and we've talked about this. It's just, and like they, like to a certain extent, with their whole roster is getting a little bit overcrowded now.
And guess what we got next week too?
Yeah,
another 8-man tag match.
Yeah,
and I saw that. I went, there's another one.
Yeah, I mean, just like and
I'll give you once in a while, but every freaking week, it's like
it's literally every single week, and it's her whole calling card there. But I'm just like, guys, like, I mean, like, you can't feature everyone every single week. Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, it's just like they can't help themselves. I'm just like, like, give us more one on ones or something, like, and I
or just tag matches.
Yeah, and hey, they pride themselves on like featuring a really good tag team matches, but I don't like for example tonight, for how short that Sammy and like a Matt Hardy was, we could have easily have cut out that whole entire 8-man tag, and could have given those guys an extra 5 minutes there. It just it was just very unnecessary, and those seem to be the case as it concerns with the 8-man tags. They're just not really needed.
Right. And then after the match, obviously, Lucha Brothers, Blade and Butcher win. Kingston announces that all 5 of them are in the Casino Battle Royal. And then somebody of their group is going to win. Then we get the Mexicals, Dark Order, coming out. For some, unless I totally missed what they said, why the hell do they have a bunch of lawnmowers out there?
You're asking the wrong guy here, man.
It made
no sense.
You celebrate by buying lawnmowers. What? I saw. I was like, eh. Then I bring out a casket with. They open it. It looks like it's like a fake body of Cody, and one of the minions comes out, and they're all celebrating. And Brody Lee comes out, and Evo Uno is talking, and I I couldn't wait for that at the end. I don't know. It was just overly. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. What Eva Uno was doing, and then they go in the ring, and Tony Schiavone is interviewing Brody Lee. The funny thing that happened in this was it John Silver, whoever the hell, jumps on the mic and like over the top says Brody Lee's the man, and then Brody Lee just kicks the crap out of him, slaps him, and says someone picked this little shit up. I appreciated that. I popped for that, but the rest of it I was like, eh. And QT Marshall and Dustin come out and attack along with Scorpio Sky, pardon me.
There we go.
So they attack, yes. And as well as Matt Cardona. And I believe it's announced for All Out. That's another multi-man tag for that. Yay. So yeah. Do you still where's your stock in Dark Order at after yesterday?
Actually,
up, same, or down?
It's actually up for me now. I think no. Well, they are no longer a freaking joke now. Which is
it's still a joke to me.
Explain specifically why they are a joke.
Did you watch that segment?
Yes, didn't you see Brody Lee's promo?
He's the only one out of there that I care about. Everybody else loses their matches. They bought freaking lawnmowers. They're still a joke to me. The only one that it's Brody Lee, and it's only because he destroyed Cody. I don't take them seriously. They're not a threat to me.
How? Okay, if
I don't know how this is any different than what happened last week.
Okay, how many?
The whole time.
How many matches has like Brody Lee lost since he's debuted, Matt?
Well, none, but he didn't have many.
No, like one match, and that was against.
Like the Amber. Okay, yeah, that's right. One. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so like to me, it's not a.
And they ruined him after that. Until now.
How can you say that he was ruined when he just like
his first match he lost?
He had won 5 matches prior there to that, Matt. Before
they were all squashes, and his first actual big match, big thing, he comes in, he loses. They did that with Archer, his first Tyler thing. They ruined him
against the AEW World Champion, who has beaten everybody.
It was too soon for him to be in the thing. I don't know how we're defending this. How you're defending this all of a sudden. Last week it was the 4th segment on the show.
The whole entire point of the thing was to put over Brody Lee as a freaking monster. And this is
they should have done that from day one, and they didn't. We were complaining that they were terrible all this time. And now all of a sudden this week it's great. No, I'm sorry. They're not good. The rest of them are crap. Brody Lee's the only one that is worth a damn in that group.
Yes.
But it's still, that's like trying to polish a turd.
So we're now comparing Brody Lee to a turd when his only loss has been against Jon Moxley. Has beaten everyone
in that group. That group is bringing them down.
Okay, so if we,
I don't know how we're defending. I don't know how it's a change of heart all of a sudden.
Because man, my opinion can change week to week depending on what they're doing with them.
Yeah, Okay,
Okay,
I'm not saying
okay,
it can't, but after
okay.
last week, I don't know how it's better.
I don't think you're really
Yes,
understanding.
I am. I'm watching the same show you're watching, and it's that segment was crap. They're crap. I don't buy them as a serious threat at all. I'm
Not
sorry.
even, not even Brody Lee, who just
How
plowed
they did it,
through
I don't
Cody.
like how they did it. How in the grand scheme of things they did it. Yes, it's impressive he beat Cody Rhodes, but he was ruined for me even before that.
Okay, so how's this
Build him up.
how,
He's part of that. He loses his first big match. They rushed him into that feud. He shouldn't have been in that. He should have been in that title match that quick to begin with. Eventually, sure, absolutely. Then he has to be a freaking McMahon and make fun of McMahon. We crucified him for that. Everybody crucified him from that, and it's inconsistent with that group. That's my big problem. They're inconsistent.
I'm not
And
talking I'm not talking I'm just talking
that group brings them down.
vertically.
I they could change my mind, but as of now, I don't care. When they come out,
Well, like how can you
I'm
say
I'm almost like Jim Cornette with women's wrestling. I want to fast forward. I
so
don't.
how can you say though that he's insignificant when he's beaten arguably outside of like Moxley and Cody, who is a top babyface in a company. I
Because he's in the
cannot
Dark
agree
Order.
with
If he was out of the freaking Dark Order, it'd be fine.
it. I don't really buy that. But putting on the
Garbage,
putting on the
garbage group. Everybody hates it. Nobody is praising the Dark Order.
I can tell you for a fact that's not true. You need to
Who?
watch some other people besides Jim
I
Cornette.
watch other people. I watch other people. I watch the Wrestling Inc. podcast. They every week, every Wednesday, they talk about it. I watch other people. I'm sorry, but my opinion is I don't like them, and I'm entitled to it, and we can agree to disagree. Moving on.
Are are you triggered now?
I'm a little bit triggered. I am a little bit triggered. A little bit triggered. Passionate about not liking him. Anyway, so move on.
Just like so you know I was just stirring a pot a little bit there too.
Okay, wait.
On top
Okay,
of that,
then what were you actually? Then what do you actually believe in? I feel like I'm a religious priest or something.
here. When that whole thing first went down with Cody and him, I hated it. But after I saw that again and really thought about that, I was like, okay. First of all, Cody, he's completely off of TV, off of TV now, and they are really playing up him being like really screwed up
I hope so.
so to me that was something to where I was thinking, okay, there's obviously a like bigger story here, and someone said like it's very similar with like Rocky 3 sort of thing, where like Cody he got extremely overconfident, and basically Brody being like the bad SOB just basically really screwed him up. So I thought about that. I was like, you know what? It's not as bad as I first thought. And then I really liked with the whole promo, not like evil Uno and the whole like lawnmowers and shit. That was dumb. But I like him as far as Brody Lee, and so far Anna J. I'm interested to see what they exactly do with her, but I've obviously she's still really really unknown at this point. So
Yes.
yeah.
Moving on. Hang on. There we go. Dasha finds Hangman Page backstage at the bar, asking why he cost the Young Bucks the match. And Matt and Nick come and ask why with their fine acting.
Yeah, that was bad.
One of them is on the verge of tears. I'm like, okay, Big Show. But anyways, the main thing there
I was
is,
mad.
was it Matt? I honest to God,
I
I
was
don't
mad.
know which one's which. That's terrible. But
Matt, Matt, he's the one with the sideburns there. So, yeah.
I'm not going to remember that. But anyways, that's besides the point. They go. Says, quote, "You're out of the elite. You're done." Matt slams the door and the mirror cracks, and Page looks himself in the broken mirror in the door. That's a hell of a slam that cracked that mirror. And I said, I thought it's like, holy crap. So the visual of that, I liked. That was a nice touch.
It's like the whole entire Hangman and FTR and the Bucks thing outside of like MGF and Moxley. It's probably the most interesting thing week to week. I feel so very interested to see how this all eventually plays out here.
Yeah. And then we get to the 3-on-1 handicap match, technically really 2-on-1. But anyways, Big Swole versus Britt Baker, Reba, whatever, and Penelope Ford. It was a match that happened. It was on the show. That's all I have to say about that.
That was quite possibly one of the worst women's matches I've ever seen. Just none of these.
We saw the Divas division back in the early 2000s.
Man, like this is what that immediately reminded me of. Like, just like none of these women looked like they should be on TV. Big Swole, like her stock for me just continues on going down and down. And Britt, it's just even with her, as fun as her personality has been, it's getting kind of stale even for me, especially when you know that we're going to be getting on like Machida versus
it didn't come off as good this week, especially out there.
It was bad.
The worst part for me was when Reba, whatever her damn name is, used the crutch. It hit Penelope, but how it came off just looked
so fake.
It just
just don't have her in the ring. Like, I don't want to see Rebel in the ring again. If she's just a like valet, fine, but do not have her wrestle.
It looked like if I started the wrestle tomorrow, that's what would happen.
She just looked really unathletic, really lost. She didn't know what she was doing. It was just it was very hard to watch, and like, you know, that is a case when my whole entire timeline is just shitting on this whole thing. It's thank God it was only up by like 3 minutes or so. So
it was a long 3 minutes.
Yeah, you could say that.
Then it was, I think they announced for next week, which so you got Santana Ortiz versus the Best Friends, Chris Jericho versus Joey Janela, and Private Party and SCU versus Young Bucks and Jurassic Express, where the winners of the match face each other at All Out.
which I would assume we're going to be getting with the Jurassic Express versus Mad and Nick there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm as a go home show, at least next week, at least those 3 matches, it doesn't do anything for me initially on paper. Santana Ortiz was best friends. I don't care about the feud. Jericho and Joey Janela. It's Janela, and I don't get that stipulation, that tag match. I was expecting them to go all out for next week. Maybe they still will, but as of now, to me, compared to previous shows that they announce stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, that'd be good. Oh, that's good. Oh, the ratings should favor them. I don't know. That's just me from what I see. The rest of the show, they can add stuff. Obviously, it's a week away, but it's just when they announced that, I'm like, two of the 3, I don't really care to see. Private Party and SCU and the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express could be decent, fun to watch, but I don't know. That's just me. Then we get Anna Jay, Eva Uno, and Grayson just randomly coming over to take Conti and offer her a spot in the Dark Order. They give her the folder, orientation folder, and I forgot that Tay and Anna Jay tagged at that tournament which we watched. I don't know. This came. I don't like how this came off. I don't know. Like Tay's acting, and it didn't seem right. If that makes sense. I'm
not going to really disagree with that. It was just weird how they did it. But as far as just Taya herself, she was like one of the few people in that tournament who I actually liked. Yeah. Just like she just looked like she knew what she was doing, and I think also as well as you recall, Matt, when Anna Jay choked out Brittany Rhodes, I would assume that they are probably adding Taya into this since they will probably feud with the Nightmare Sisters there too. So yeah, probably where that's going there.
Probably. Then we get the tables match between Hardy and Sammy Guevara. Sammy.
Did you talk up like Sheeta and Thunder Rosa there?
Yeah, that was I skipped over because it was just what we already knew is official.
Well, what I found interesting there was her like Billy Corgan's name and
to be honest, I fast forward to that video package.
Yeah. You probably shouldn't have done that because
I can't cornet on that.
God damn it. I would just by how they are hyping this up makes me think that there's some sort of a like business relationship between AEW and the NWA. I could very well see at some point of them doing Nick Aldis and like Cody again, because I believe they've had two past matches and they are both tied right now. So and to obviously with like Thunder Rosa, we also had guys such as Ricky Starks and such who have come over. So I wouldn't mind seeing that, but at the same time too, NWA doesn't exactly have too many guys at the moment, just because everything with the pandemic, kind of screwed them, unfortunately there. So
Yeah. And then we had the tables match with Sammy getting the win there. In a relatively quick match. Yeah, I'd like the one thing well, the non-wrestling thing I like this match is when Matt jumped off the apron, did like an elbow after Sammy moved and went through the table. I like the fact, and something WWE doesn't do, is that you have to put your opponent through a table, just not go through a table, and they point it out. I like that aspect of it. And they pointed that out. Because it happened, I'm like, well, that sucked. That was a terrible ending. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you. It makes sense.
Yeah, I tell you though, this thing just went on way too short. I felt like this. It was just like this, like
wait, Colin, way too short.
Went on. I mean, like it got like what, 8 minutes?
Yeah, I feel like I blinked and I missed it.
Right, and two, on top of that, they went through a like picture and like a picture with that. I'm just like, see, this is one of this company's issues is like managing time and putting too much shit on the show. Like, as far as with this stupid women's match, and on top of that, with the pointless 8-man tag, like that's a good 5 or like 6 minutes that should have been saved. And like also as well, it's like, okay, why didn't we end with MJF and like Moxley here? I feel like that is probably what should have closed the show here, because I just and then God help us, they end the show with Orange Cassidy attacking Chris Jericho. It's just like, this is the one thing I cannot defend the company on. I can try and defend everything with like Brody Lee, but this shit with Orange Cassidy and Jericho is easily the worst thing going on in this company right now, outside and really I can't even say with her women's division, because at least we are getting Sheeta versus Thunder Rosa. That's going to be really damn good. But this is horrible. It just, man.
I understand what you meant yesterday when I saw the tweet, because I still had my phone kind of going, because if I watched AEW, my phone was going to die, and I didn't want to lose that during the blackout. So when I saw you say, I'm going to assume, because it was at the time, you said, I can't wait for this feud to end. Was this what you were talking about?
Yes. It just, they have really exposed Orange Cassidy now. It's just, they're trying to make him like, they're trying to make him into this, like, you know, main event, this like a main event guy. I'm just like, this is not how he should be. Like, as like a mid card guy, as like for example, what a Scotty Too Hottie was in the Attitude Era. Like, that's sort of,
somebody tell Scotty so he can be offended by that,
right?
But I know, I get what I.
Yeah, it's just like it's just like, he should not be a Cody, a like Moxley, a Kenny, etc. Like, it's just like, he does not belong in that class. Like, and that's not a bad thing. And one of the issues is, like, so many people think that if you're not a top guy or a top girl, that you suck, which is not the case. I mean, Matt, how many stars have been huge stars because they were just strictly in the freaking mid card? Hell, like Chris Jericho made a freaking career out of that. Hell, like until he was at the very top, Savage was a great mid carder until he started feuding with like Hogan. On like Steve Austin, same thing. Like there's, but like, and I just don't understand why they need to feel the freaking need to just put him in a main event spot where it's been proven it has not been good. And I'm not trying to be freaking negative or anything, but that's just the freaking facts. And as far as the overall matches, I, I mean, like, the first match it was okay. Second match it was bad, and now with this third match is just extremely gimmicky, just dumb. God help me. So
We're drinking mimosas.
yeah, I'm gonna be drinking a lot for that match. I can tell you that much, man.
So that's a show. And then we've got the real quick the ratings.
Right.
As for the second week of a row in the unopposed war, NXT wins. Closer this week with NXT winning comparatively by 1%, 13% last week. For AEW, they drew
813
compared to NXT's 824. Compare, and then if you compare that from last week, Dynamite up from their 755.
Which, like, by the way, how surprised were you at like how well that they actually did? Like,
I'm not
because
surprised at all.
I I was stunned just because
I'm not. I'm not.
like even with like with the NBA, UFC, and also takeover happening at the same time. But
Well, this
like
was.
that was well, yeah.
Oh, are
That
you
was
talking about last Saturday? Or,
yeah.
I'm
Last
not.
Saturday.
I'm not because they went to 755. Just Dynamite. Say lately. Okay, well that went. Okay, those numbers kind of pull the hole in Matt Theory was about to say. I then again, this is see, this is why I hate ratings because it's an average, so you don't know what like each quarter did. If it started high, I would. This is what I assume it would probably start in the 800s and probably ended in the mid to low 700s with Takeover going. So I would say it was a steady decline, and the average makes it at 755. Reason why I say I'm not stunned as much, because if I would have been stunned if it was in the 600s, is because both shows have a basic loyal fan base, and even though there's a night change, everybody who watches AEW or NXT knows they talk about it will know, oh, for the most part, hey, they're going to be on this day next week, so okay, we can watch. And I guess that's live numbers and not DVR numbers. I don't know how that works, but I wasn't. I would have been more surprised if they went higher, and I would have been more surprised if they went in the 600 K. But it's still good for both shows that none really lost much in the way of anything. And they pretty much stayed consistent for the most part. Same thing with the demo. even though it was slightly down for AEW, but only 0.02 points. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cry over that.
No, it's just being proven once again, man. These shows should be on separate nights. I'm praying at some point, and we've talked about this, if NXT would just be on Tuesday, AEW be on Wednesday, everyone's happy because I feel NXT they would do at least 800,000.
More
AEW,
consistently.
yeah,
I think both would do 800,000
right,
more consistently, with
and
obvious peaks and valleys.
yeah, and supposedly USA has been supposedly pushing them to actually move because they are getting kind of tired of them getting killed, um, for the most part, in those in those like week
It's
2 weeks there.
probably the 18 to 49 demo that they're upset about.
Yeah, and because I believe they did a 0.24, which is pretty good for them. But
AEW did a 0.29.
right, but 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 when they go up against Dynamite, that's obviously where they are pretty upset about, which you can't really blame them. Like,
Because I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, it just I think it will just be absolutely beneficial to both companies, which I do feel at some point we're going to be getting to that, because in my opinion NXT is like being a more hurt by them going head to head compared to AEW going head to head with NXT there. I'm not sure if you completely agree,
Well,
but that's kind of how.
with the
Mhm.
I'll just share it. What the hell? Well, I have, if I look strictly at the numbers, and this is credit to Brandon Thurston from Wrestle Economics on Twitter. Here's leak up there. Looking strictly at the numbers at the 18 to 49 demo, I can't argue numbers there. I mean, obviously on separate nights down here on the bottom, NXT has got the ratings closer, 29 and 21% respectively.
Mhm.
Even I like how like 21% that seems bigger, but it's only was like
Right.
0.5, 0.05.
Mhm.
But welcome to math.
Mhm.
And then the rest of the time, AEW is beating them by a good percentage margin, with the lowest margin being on the 24th of June being 16%, and that's with NXT did their best ratings win overall with all those numbers, um, comparatively to the rest. So look, you get the Wednesday Night Wars, and it's all fun and games because it brings back a competition and everybody.
Mhm.
Um, but I think for everybody can sit there and honestly with DVR, if everybody can watch it on
Right.
both shows.
Right.
But for those ratings, everybody cares about.
Yeah.
Um, it'd be nice. Be Monday, you got Raw. Thursday, uh, NXT. Wednesday, AEW. Thursdays, technically
Open.
Impact. Well, yeah, with those two, but I think you got
Mhm.
Impact that who knows what channel they're on. And then Friday, SmackDown, and then
Mhm.
weekends with your pay-per-views.
Right.
Um, but you know, as soon as there's a press release down the line and it says NXT's moving to Tuesday, you're just gonna have everybody going, well, so NXT is afraid of AEW. They can't beat them, so they're gonna move. Okay, sure, but what's make it
At the same time, though, like it makes no sense to go up against them when it's the same audience that you are targeting. It's just it's not that hard to understand here. Like from the
TV shows do that all the time.
right, and from the very start, I said this is stupid because they're they're already targeting a very small audience, and now they were essentially cutting that same audience in half. So it's just I, which and at the start I said eventually one of these two companies are going to have to change and switch nights, which I do feel that's going to be NXT, just because I feel like they are the only company who can do that, just because if you look at TNT, they have NBA every Tuesday and like Thursday, and Tony Khan has said pretty consistently he will never oppose with the NFL, which obviously since his dad owns the Jaguars, so like he's not gonna be
You're not going to go Monday.
right.
There's football, and
Mhm.
you're not going to even come close
No,
to Raw.
no,
Raw would kill you
Mhm.
comparatively. Obviously, with Friday too being
Mhm.
on a national network,
Yeah.
SmackDown that is.
Right.
Yeah, so it is what it is. It's all business, anyways.
Mhm.
That's what you do with the companies tell you that they're giving you the money. So yeah, that's the ratings. Both shows did good. They did have I did look at. It's too late now, but that was for
Mhm.
last week's quarterlies. Uh,
Mhm.
really can't compare strictly show to show, but you can
Yeah.
compare segments. Some were interesting. But anyways, that was that. And I think that's pretty much time to wrap it up. We're going on an hour and a half here. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. We're gonna have our podcast come out tomorrow at 3. We taped it right before SmackDown. We're going to talk about all the sports boycotting after the recent shooting, and DC fandom, all the information of the new movies coming out. And last topic on that podcast was uh, hockey specific, with the Pittsburgh Penguins and their trades, or the trade they made, and all of that. Again, coming out tomorrow at 3 p.m. And then Payback this Sunday will be on the air again here with our reaction to that show. So yeah,
And supposedly to I think we might actually find out some more about like retribution on that show.
yes,
So
they were
between
not
that,
on. They were not on tonight.
right, I think we probably have some more clarity on that. And obviously between that and like Reigns are the by
The
far
biggest story.
the biggest by far the biggest thing is going into that show. So we shall see
That should be
how
interesting.
that transpires
And
there.
after and just as a little side note too, before I go off, uh, I talked with John and I did tweet out about it, trying to branch out more in our content here. Without here, obviously our live streams are mostly, if not all, wrestling based. Um,
Mhm.
Tweeting is more wrestling based for the most part. Uh, uh, to add, at least me, I had the idea, because you see it on YouTube, more streaming stuff with video games stuff. For example, everybody, if you're a Nintendo fan, they have these things called Nintendo Directs. Show off what games are coming in the future and down the line. You know, State of Play, I think, for PlayStation, all those stuff, and maybe just go on and like stream those broadcasts. And if anybody wants to join, talk about it and all that stuff. It's just something different, something new. Refresh this. Keep up, refresh the channel, get some more content as along with the streams to do about wrestling here. So working on that for the future. See what happens. Maybe even some gaming streams. I think you guys would be interested if me and John would play Mario Party and just see how hilarity that ensues between us.
You can see how freaking awful I am at that.
Okay. I was gonna say you did. Well, recently you did win one, at least the new Mario Party. I wasn't expecting you to crap on you. I was expecting you to crap on me. As a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Anyways, but something different. Different content works. So with that, thanks for watching, and I plugged everything we needed to plug. So for John, I am Matt. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next live stream.